on YouTube, if anything. This is gonna be the link. All right. Mm, 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 mm. So there is the YouTube link in the chat if my screen share wouldn't work, but is this working for any of you? Like I'm just on one screen here, so I have to kind of flip around between some tabs. Yeah, it's working for you, Lee. Awesome. You guys make sure to join also on YouTube if it doesn't work, and we'll go over some things from here. I can't see it on my phone. Yeah, sometimes and phones are not the best place to to load that on, to load a live stream on, but you can try on YouTube and maybe that works a bit better, right? Let's just get started then. Just a couple of key charts that you guys want to be aware of is things like, for example, total tree, right? There's a couple of charts that are absolutely very important within crypto, right? And one of them is going to be the total tree chart. This chart basically just represents the total amount of value in dollars in the like entire crypto world, except for what is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So basically, this chart tells you something about altcoins and about when it is time and appropriate, right, to allocate into altcoins. And I just wanted to start here first on a 12-month time frame, you guys, where every single candlestick, right, represents 1 year of price action. So last year we had a very, very good year for total tree, right? We were up 85%. But we did reject, at least for now, from the top that we've basically made in 2021, right? So I think it's important that that is a level of resistance which you can look to respect. I mean, at some point, if this ever gets above 1.13 trillion, it is still likely to go way higher, right? So you're currently trading below resistance. Last year was a bullish year, but we basically left a huge gap, right? And in the sense that if you're up 85% for a year, then this year it won't take a lot for this chart to retrace back down. And that basically means that money is looking to flow out of altcoins, right? Not forever, right? But at least it's likely that what we're going to see, at least on this chart, if you look at this current candlestick, is that this is going to become a wick on top of the candlestick, and we're actually going to flip red for a little bit. This is what you should be prepared for, that this year it's not going to be up only. And I've been trying to tell you guys in the Discord, not just for stocks, but for, sorry, not just for crypto, but for equity as well, that just a pump from the yearly open is not what you want to immediately buy into, right? So all I'm going to do is kind of mark out that level as the yearly open level and then go to the daily time frame, you guys. So now I went from a very, very high time frame, right? From the yearly time frame to a daily time frame. And I'm telling you, this is, if we can kind of zoom in, this is what we currently see. So this is currently literally hanging by a thread at the yearly open level, right? The yearly open level for the total tree chart is 934.23 billion, right? $934 billion in the total altcoin market. So that's everything except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we had 1, 2, 3 bullish days from the yearly open, then went sideways, right? And recently now got rejected with 3 red candlesticks. Personally speaking, right, if you're going to see a daily candle closure below 934 here, I personally would expect, right, more downside. Why? Because you're basically flipping, right, from green on the year to red on the year. And that typically comes with some extra momentum. So don't be surprised if you see crypto and especially altcoins going down for longer than you would like or longer than you would basically expect. So this chart is very important to keep up with. If I'm going to see a daily close here today between below 934.23, I'm fully preparing, right, to short some more of these shitcoins, altcoins, essentially, right? Like I said, if you're really just, for example, patient and you want a good entry point into crypto and into altcoins, you could simply wait until the previous all-time high flips into a level of support and then goes higher. Because if I zoom out here, you can kind of clearly see that this chart is double topping, right, at the same resistance. So maybe in time, this becomes one huge kind of a cup and handle pattern. And if you get above 1.13 trillion, look, there's still going to be a lot of appreciation after that happens, because then you'll break an all-time high. But from here, it's again, it's not the moment to allocate, and especially into altcoins, and to buy the dip, so to speak. It's not the moment for it, because this is clearly one of those examples where the dip can keep dipping for longer, right? I hope that makes sense. Let me just go to YouTube. If there's no comments here, as well as on Discord, that's going to be easy. I can then kind of focus on some individual tickers, but it's very important, you guys, just to have the main context straight first. And how do you do that? By looking at something like total tree, right? Let's see. So Jashman, good question. That ticker is total tree. That is literally what you want to fill in, right, on your trading view. So if I click total tree, boom, you will see crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. If I type total two, then it is the crypto total market cap without just Bitcoin. And if I click on just total, guess what? It is the total crypto market cap. So why are we on total tree, you may ask? Well, good question. Because we want to grasp the strength of just altcoins, right? And I'm talking literally about anything that isn't Bitcoin, and in this case, also not Ethereum. And that is not looking all too good overall, right? It's looking like we're going to lose the yearly open level, flip red on the year, and then probably do something like this. So what I would expect is more down, and then you flip that white level into resistance before this, probably see some more downside. And some more downside, right, generally speaking, means at least another 10% down on whatever altcoin you're currently holding, right? So I know a lot of people have problems kind of selling in the red or selling on a day when things are coming down, but sometimes it is better to get out before things move down another 10% and then another 10%, right? It's very, very possible that, yeah, last year we had a very good year, but that this year we have a little bit of a bear trend to go through before then going back up, right? Something like what I just drew out on this chart here is most certainly, I'm giving you guys no guarantees to anything, right? You want to do your own research and all of those things. But it is very, very possible, right, for crypto especially, to nuke, for example, boom, 50%, and then to recover and see a huge, huge recovery. How is price able to go higher? Well, price can go higher only after it goes lower to get in enough buyers, essentially, right? So I'm just going to mark out a level here where I have no idea whether we would come back down there, but I would look at that level as a very important level on this chart, right? Basically a resistance point from back here at 600, around 660 billion. So a little calculation, right, from 934, for example, to 660, that would be 30% down on altcoins in general and on total tree, right? And then, for example, a big, big continuation of the bull market. Now, if anything would change and I would see like, oh, it's really actually becoming a very good moment to kind of freely allocate into altcoins, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you guys. But at the moment, say, for example, you're just holding things for the long term, right? This typical thing that, oh, I'm holding my AVAX and my Solana, and I'm holding my Binance coin and my all these other things and my NEAR just for the long term. This is really not where you're like, oh, let me just hold things for the long term, you guys. This is the moment in time when you really want to value your dollars so very, very highly. And that's maybe the second important chart that we can kind of go over. It doesn't have anything to do with crypto immediately, but then yet again, it actually has everything to do with crypto because it is the dollar strength. So let me just kind of put this chart on. This is the DXY, right? It's the dollar strength. What I'm seeing on this chart is the opposite at the moment of what I was seeing on the total tree chart. So if I go to the daily time frame here, right, you'll see that we've basically been in an uptrend, and I've currently marked out a couple of levels, right? One important level that I have for the DXY is 107.815. That's this red line here. Why is this red line on my chart? It's on my chart to basically signify that as long as we're above the red line, that the dollar is very, very, very strong, right? And as a European, that is something very relevant to me because the euro is ultimately and naturally getting crushed if the dollar is strong. But euro is not the only thing that gets crushed. Basically, all other foreign currencies get crushed, as well as altcoins. So with a DXY that is uptrending and the dollar that is basically gaining in relative value, it's not the moment in time where you're basically holding altcoins for the long term, hoping for the best. No, I personally, right, would look to get out of most of my altcoins if I had positions on, and I would go back to dollars. And at some point, if I see this chart, for example, again, I'm not trying to predict anything, but if at some point I see this chart get below the red level, then I'll know, okay, the dollar is getting weaker again. And that creates a way better context for altcoins to do well. Then I can more freely look to allocate my money into altcoins. So this chart here, the DXY, for anybody who is interested, you can have 107.815. And anything above that level for the dollar, I'm looking basically to go back to where we were in 2022. And if you guys remember 2022, I don't know who was around and who wasn't. I definitely was around in 2022 here in Penny Boys. And I can tell you that the market was very, very bearish at that. Well, in 2022, we were literally just in a very bearish trend, right? If you kind of look at this red level, that 107.815, if we look back to the left here, that's also why I'm saying this is such an important level, because back in 2022, when we then finally got above that level and kind of gained it, flipped it into support, that is literally the level which we went to the high from. So that's a very important pivotal level, that 107.815. You can kind of see once price moved below that, right, and flipped that red level into resistance, the DXY sold off further. And that was when it was a good idea not to hold a lot of dollars, right? Then it was a good idea to basically allocate into altcoins and things of that nature. But now we're here again. We're back above that red level. I'm not looking to predict anything, like I said, but for now, that's bullish. And if we actually do trend back up to say 114.778 for the DXY, altcoins especially are going to probably be the last thing that you want to be allocated into. Why? Because that is basically very high up on the risk spectrum. And if the DXY moves up, that is when smart money does not go risk on. That is when we're going risk off, when we're not just smashing altcoins. Anyways, let me go back to Discord and see if there's any questions regarding this so far. I don't see anything, so that works out. What's up, Gabrius on YouTube? Hope you're well, brother. Just wanted to make sure that I came on here, kind of address whoever wants to hear it for 30 minutes here. Let's maybe look at some individual tickers, right? Maybe Bitcoin being the first one that, of course, comes to mind. Let's kind of zoom out here for a moment, right? On the 12-month time frame. That's always very important, I find, especially at the start of a year where you're looking to, like, where do you start? Well, not on a 1-hour time frame somewhere around the current market price. You want to zoom out at least a little bit, just as what we've done with Total Tree, right? You guys, you remember Total Tree? We looked at the 12-month time frame, and boom, we were below that double top, right? 1.13 trillion. That's main resistance. If we go to Bitcoin, right? Very simple. We're above that. We're not double topping on Bitcoin, right? On Total Tree, we literally hit resistance at the 2021 high. Bitcoin itself here last year had an amazing year, right? 120% to the upside. And we also nicely closed above 69,000, right? So Bitcoin is way, way, way more solid as a chart in and of itself than all of these altcoins, generally speaking. The problem, right, just with Bitcoin as well, and I'm not saying that we will come down drastically, but look, if you go up 120% in 1 year, it is not out of the question then the next year that you're basically gonna come back down for maybe, let's say, where to maybe that exact high, right? Maybe it's gonna be that obvious this year, where all we're really doing is coming back, for example, to the 2021 high. So what is that level? That's 69K. From a high time frame perspective, that would make perfect sense, right? Breakout, close above a level, then you come back to test it as a support, and then you go higher. So I'm personally very, very bullish on Bitcoin, right? I've been bullish on Bitcoin literally for many years now. Nothing changes, but I'm very, very aware, right, that things are not just only up, right? Things don't go up only. And after you've been in the market for, I would say, at least one bull trend and one big bear trend, you kind of recognize when risk really increases. So I've personally seen Bitcoin come down multiple times. I wasn't early in Bitcoin or anything. I kind of joined in the summer of 2021 in crypto. Um, but I've very much have seen Bitcoin go down, for example, 50%, then bounce up a little bit and drop another 60%. Like, I know what it is. I've lived that. I'm here to tell you that, look, not trying to fight anybody's backs, but you got to be at least cool in your mind and prepared for example, coming back to 69,000 on Bitcoin and then not saying, oh, it's over, right? That is the last place where you want to say, oh, it's over. It's all going to zero. Like if you're going to basically end up not taking anything, for example, you're long from on Bitcoin from lower, you've never paid yourself, and then it goes back to 69,000 after it just went to 100,000 and 90,000, and you're just sitting there and then selling, then you're doing it wrong, right? But something like this would be very interesting to me, you guys. Again, I have no idea what the market is going to do. I'm just here to tell you what I personally would really look to allocate into. And that is, for example, if Bitcoin this year wants to come back down, maybe even get below 69,000 and then get back above, like that event of getting below 69,000 and then clearly getting back above, that to me would be bullish. Then we've literally just secured that the backtest of that previous resistance, right? And that's really the main problem that I have with the Bitcoin chart is exactly that we've broken above the 2021 high, right? And that we've never really came back to test it as support, right? So we got 69,000, and then last year we traded around that 2021 high for a long time. And then eventually we broke out, but we never really came back to test this level on the chart as a solid level of support, right? And of course, we don't have to, but you would want to at least be prepared for something like that, that it could happen, right? And at least currently, if we just basically look at the current weekly candlestick, look, on a very short-term notice here, Bitcoin's not bullish, right? If you're going to try, for example, and leverage long Bitcoin here, you're going to have a very, very hard time and a very bad time. So I would suggest staying very far away from leverage and long positions at the moment, right? And if just you want to stay calm and you want to prepare yourself for these scenarios before they happen. Because if one day you come to your watch list and Bitcoin's at 69,000, and again, you are basically crapping your pants, that is when you're going to make dumb decisions, not the better ones, right? So just this chart on Bitcoin, again, you want to be aware of the possibility of that. Let's see. XRP, you say, Jashmash. We can take a look at XRP for sure. So if Bitcoin was crushed, MicroStrategy dumps too, and my SMST does well. Absolutely, Lee. I heard you speak about that on one of your live streams, right? Absolutely. If Bitcoin's going to give us a sexy backtest of 69,000, guess where MicroStrategy is going? It's not going to go straight up, right? It's indeed, like Lee says in the chat. Actually, we can maybe take a look at XRP and then at SMST. Sailor would just buy more. For sure he would, but of course he can, right? He can buy more and he will buy more. But for us as traders, definitely MicroStrategy is one that I'm very interested in as well. Had a very good year last year as well, right? But maybe let's take a look at XRP, like you said, Jashmash. That's a real crypto, right? We can take a look at that. Maybe let's go on the Mexi chart. Boom. The Mexi chart will always have a lot of price history. Look, you guys, XRP is one of these coins which I very much have been I've not been in this for years, but I've been aware of this coin for many, many years, right? So what I would say, right, is as long as you're basically holding above $1.96, this is one of those cryptos which is basically those are special ones. This is a special one. This has the strength and the possibility to do something bullish in and of itself, even, right, if Bitcoin and if the general market isn't conducive for it. But if XRP gets back below $1.96, I personally think that this has way, way, way lower to go again, right? So $1.96, that's basically, it's not the all-time high for XRP at all, because we've went higher years and years prior. I would have to go, let's see, maybe to the Bitstamp chart to see that. There you go, right? So XRP last year, we did not actually make a new all-time high. The all-time high was made in 2018. What I would focus on, right, is, for example, that high from 2018 and then this high here from 2021. So currently, right, this is your trading range between 196 and 331, right? So as long as you're holding 196 with, say, weekly candlestick closures, right, there's still a good chance actually that XRP goes up higher and that it will want to go back to the all-time high. But once we get below 196 with a weekly candle closure, right, that is when I would basically expect more downside, because you can't forget that XRP basically just flew, right, from literally 50 cents to almost $3. So that means if you lose $2, you can basically go back to $1, literally, right? There's a lot of room for XRP to crash very hard because it went up that heavily, right? You want to remember that when things pump heavily, right, they can also dump heavily. And XRP has a real history of doing this, right, you guys? I think this is even going to be obvious to most people. I don't really need to even highlight it, but I will still do it, right? These Christmas trees that XRP likes to paint. So in 2017, guess what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of mega pump, and that took us from, let's say, 20 cents all the way to $3.30. And then what happened? Slow grind down, right? A heavy rejection at first, and then a slow grind down and a lot of sideways. So it's very fun, of course, if you're long XRP and the price is moving up just in one straight line. But it also comes with a lot of risk that if you're going to lose a key level, right, you can run this down very drastically, right? And of course, from $2 back to $1 is simple. That's 50% down. So if you have 10K in XRP and you lose $2, and then you say, oh, I'm just going to try and hope and wait for the best, and then your 10K becomes 5K. I mean, we'll have tried to tell you at that point, right, that the break below 196 is a good exit point for XRP. You're not looking for an entry then. At least now at the moment, it's holding above 196, but this is not where I would touch it as well. Like, to give this some confidence, right, that actually we're looking for an all-time high, I would like to see this basically already get above 250. If it's going to get above 250, I'm going to basically be more confident that I can play it from 250, maybe to 330, with a stop loss somewhere at 210, right, you guys? That makes sense? So for an actual trade setup, I would not be touching XRP here because the general market isn't bullish, because the DXY is bullish. So the dollar is strong. That means I'm not just gonna randomly like fuck around and find out what is happening if I throw some money at XRP. That's not the context in the market. And I could basically have my stop loss around $2.10. So you already would know, all right, I'm going to enter at 250 when that level flips into a support, for example, when you see a daily close above 250. And then, for example, you set a bid for XRP at 250. And you know, all right, I'll risk, for example, 40 cents per XRP, and I'll look to make 80 per XRP, right? That is very workable, right? So 250, I'm actually gonna, boom, have that level on my chart, and I'll basically place an alert there. So what I'll do is I'll go to the daily time frame, right? And see, guys, it's not difficult. Trading is all about being patient and just using your eyes. So I see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, right? XRP goes to $2.50 and gets rejected. So if XRP now gets above 250, then I will have a trade set up with a predetermined risk on my hand. I will literally be able to enter at 250, aim for 330, and stop out below 210. So hope that makes sense. And that gives you a very actionable trade position for XRP. And seriously, guys, whoever, like I said, I'll say it once again, whoever is just holding altcoins like your typical, like the bag of AVAX and Solana and some XRP on top, and then some meme coins and some Pepe and some this and some that. Why are you holding it? Oh, just kind of in good luck. So I hope that it's going to do well at some point. Look, guys, this is not how you win by holding things and saying that you hope they do well at some point, right? You need some clear plans, not just this backholders mentality. Anyways, I'm kind of liking this chart a lot above 250, kind of just on the looks on the daily time frame here, right? So currently it's making lower highs, but if we get above 250, we'll have a higher high, and then this is going to look pretty good. Anyways, I'm going to basically place an alert there. So 250, trading view, condition, crossing up, trigger, once per bar close. So I know that I don't even need to look at this chart anymore. If at some point it's going to close above 250 with a daily candlestick, boom, I'm going to get myself an alert, and I'm going to be able to play a swing trade on XRP. Anyways, I think that's going to be enough for this kind of half an hour of market overview. We really did a lot here in half an hour. This has been, yeah, absolutely, Josh Mash. I'm going to post it in my chat with Jay. That's where I'm going to post that. You're in there, right? I think you are. Yeah, we did a lot in this half an hour. I'm not going to lie to you guys, just to kind of cover all these stickers, total 3, DXY, Bitcoin, and XRP, all in one half an hour. I hope it helps, and you guys can prevent yourself from a lot of losses, right? If you want to be profitable traders, it's not about where do I find the next win, but it's way more about how do I avoid the next big loss, because profitability just means that your wins need to be bigger than your losses. It's very simple, right? So if you can keep the losses at a minimum and you can just avoid bad situations in the market, guess what? Being profitable is actually not that spectacular. It just means that you've done a couple of things right every year and you've avoided a lot of things which are basically beginner traps. No, I'm in swings with Jay. All right, no problem. I can put that in swings in my swing channel as well. Sure, it's a crypto, but I mean, look, you guys, I'm mainly trading crypto. So all right, you did right. That's what you need, sir. Good work. Love to see it. I'm gonna end my stream on StreamYard. Let's see. End the stream. All right.